On this episode, we finally finish our recent trip review, and in part 3, talk about a disappointing Kona Cafe mobile order, the best day ever at the Polynesian, breakfast at 1900 Park Fair, and mini golf at Fantasia Gardens. Today is May 10th, 2024. This is episode 666 of the Main Street Magic Podcast.
Jeremy and Rhonda are more than a little fond of Disney World, so they made this podcast to share it all with you. Reports and resorts, top 10 lists of all sorts. Main Street Magic's bringing it home for you.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Main Street Magic. I'm your host, Jeremy Stein, and I am yet again joined by my lovely wife, Rhonda.
Hey, guys.
Make sure you check us on the web at mainstmagic.com, as well as follow on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at mainstmagic. Also, you can find us on TikTok at MSM Podcast. And if you've not done so already, head out to Facebook and search for the Main Street Magic community and ask to join. And if you go ahead and hit that subscribe button, you get brand new episodes every Tuesday and Friday. If you're headed to Disneyland or Walt Disney World and you did not get your advanced dining reservations that you wanted at 60 days out, have no fear, because Mouse Dining removes the frustration of booking Disney dining reservations, alerting you when they spot availability for your desired restaurant, date, meal, and time. Visit msmfriends.com to use this free service. And then finally, if you're planning that trip to Disneyland, Walt Disney World, a Universal Park, maybe you're looking to go on a cruise or pretty much travel anywhere else in the world, head out to mainstmagictravel.com, fill out a form for a free quote. Our travel services are completely free to you. So if you listened to last episode, you learned that we did not get around to recording ahead of time the way that we had hoped to get us through the Disney Magic Cruise that we will be on as you start listening to this until Monday. So I went ahead and split up this recent episode into an additional third part. And today you're going to hear all about our perfect day at Poly, breakfast at 1900 Park Fair, mini golf at Fantasia Gardens, and a lot more than that. So here you go. Here's the second half of the last episode. All right, so now it is Monday morning, and this was going to be our checklist day. For I know we don't promote checklists, and if we did not cross everything off our checklist, it wasn't going to ruin our day, but I had a checklist of here's the things I want to do today. That all started with me going down to Kona Island and getting some coffees. Mm-hmm. Well, you were going to come down with me.
Yes.
So I wanted to do a mobile order, because if you are staying on property at Poly, you can do a mobile order at Kona Cafe.
Yes.
And they're open. Breakfast is 7:30 to 11, and then lunch is 11:30 to 2. So that is a major changeover in menu.
Yes.
Then there is a break that you want to note from 2 to 5. They do not open for dinner service until 5, and they're open till 10 p.m.
Nice.
Most recently, they brought back the regular Loco Moco. This is one of my favorate breakfast dishes
You say regular
had.
because
they still have a plant-based,
had the
which I've had.
plant-based.
I went, and John, Self, and I sat down probably about a year or so ago or something like that, and we went to Kona Cafe. We had breakfast together, and I got the plant-based Loco Moco. For a plant-based item, is very well done, and I really enjoyed it. It had good flavors, but the original Loco Moco, which is a it's a Hawaiian staple, and it is white rice, and then it's covered with a hamburger patty. It gets a chorizo gravy, 2 eggs, which I like to get like over easy, and then it comes with like pico de gallo. Mm-hmm. So it's a very interesting dish, but I really wanted this. We weren't going to sit down, but John let me know if you're staying on property, you can mobile order. So I put in the mobile order for that, and then Rhonda wanted some creamy grits with smoked Gouda for $6 that they have there.
You didn't say your price was $17.50.
So mobile ordered and thought we'll go to Kona Island, we'll get some coffees, we'll get our mobile order. So place the order, get down there. I'm here, prepare. We get our coffee. Rodrigo, who was working that morning, is like, if Disney could just clone Rodrigo and put him at every single morning interaction, it would be amazing, because it was just one of those. It was one of those ways you wanted to start your day. Yeah, he was just aloha and smiling and friendly. So we got some coffees, really good there.
Yes, very good.
I've been finding, because I don't do caffeine and I don't like the taste of coffee, so I tend to get like caramel macchiatos, or I get very flavored. Like my order at Starbucks is ridiculous.
Yes, it's
is dumb, right? I've been finding that if I go places. And we had one this morning that really is good quality, like legit coffee. The coffee tends to be the flavor that you get, and I don't love it. These were great. I loved the coffees here. And I got caramel macchiato, iced, caffeine-free. It was awesome. So it took 25 minutes. We're still waiting.
Sure did.
For our mobile order, and this was after we arrived and said prepare. I'm like, okay, that's fine. So we're waiting. They walk it out, and we take it back to the room, and we go sit on the balcony to eat. And this is the worst item I've had at Disney ever. You know, I feel bad now that I didn't do anything about it, especially because a friend of ours, because I did post about it, and a friend of ours who works at Disney was like, you should have taken that back and said something. That's an error, basically.
Okay.
The rice was undercooked. The hamburger patty tasted like somebody took a McDonald's hamburger patty and then reheated it on their grill and then forgot about it for a couple hours.
That's not funny. I'm
the
sorry.
eggs, the yolks were completely cooked. There was no salt. There was no pepper. The chorizo gravy was super runny and unflavorful. This was pretty much inedible. And I just chalked it up to, hey, they messed up. Like, I'm not going to walk all the way back down there. I'm not going to complain. I took a bite or two and was like, I'm just not going to eat it.
My grits were great.
Your grits were good. It was super disappointing. And our friend who said I should have gone down and said something is right. I should have, because I don't believe this is what they're putting out of their kitchen on a regular basis.
Well, that's what I asked you. Do you think
Now,
it's a situation because you mobile ordered? Like, if we would have sat down, would it have come out the same way?
I think it would have come out much better prepared. And if it had not, I would have been much more inclined to have said something.
Well, of course, because we're right there.
Right. So, from things that I've heard and from research and even talking to John and all, there have been some discrepancies in mobile orders as of late. Sometimes that quality isn't completely there. It definitely was not here. I'm not saying don't order this. I'm just telling the experience I had. If you're going to go sit down at Kona Cafe, I'd still recommend getting this, because I bet they're doing good. And it's much easier to say this was, something's wrong. My eggs were overcooked.
Or
whatever.
take it back.
Yeah, or take it back or whatever. But just know if you mobile order this, you might be prepared for a disappointment. I just couldn't believe how awful this was. And then it came in this container, a plastic container that had two sides, because I'm pretty sure, it doesn't say it on the menu, I'm pretty sure it should have come with a side of home fries or something. I had a little empty partition next to this garbage that was in there. But all that being said, please, in the nicest way possible, alert them if something's not right. And I should have. I failed Disney by not alerting them that this wasn't good, because if somebody else walked up behind me and ordered Loco Moco and this is how it came out, and somebody else did and somebody else did, and none of us tell them, they're going to keep producing it this way.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's on me. That's my fault for not going back and saying, hey, I just want to let you know,
right,
this is not up to standard. This really isn't. And I know that they would have made it right.
Right.
So I just didn't do it because we had things to do. Okay. So, and one of those things was what? Heading to Magic Kingdom, right?
Yeah. So, we wanted to ride Haunted Mansion and Pirates, and honestly,
wait times were super low.
They were. And honestly, I was going to majorly go over there to go through the Emporium and to possibly buy a few things, but everything was at the Poly, so I didn't have to. We wanted to get the Stitch Crash's snacks.
Mm-hmm.
He is eating the lollipop.
And now they started this month Angel.
Angel,
They're
1 through 9.
Yeah, 9 of Angel. So now.
So both of them were at the Poly, so I bought that. So yeah, so we just popped in Magic Kingdom, rode the rides, ended up going through the confectionery, and then just heading back because we wanted to make it back to Make Your Own Kukui Nut Lay. That started at 12:30 and ran to 1:30. I could not remember some of these activities, and please make note.
Yeah.
Some of these activities, when they say they run from 12:30 to 1:30, you cannot walk up at 1:15 and say, "Hey, I'd like to do this."
Yeah.
Because when it runs from 12:30 to 1:30, you need to be there. They do it, and then. But this actually happened to be where, if you were coming up around 1, or I even think 1:15, They were going to let you do it. So it is a child's lei is $15 because it's smaller. I actually did that 5 years ago when we did it. And an adult is longer and it is $20. And this is all tax excluded. So Jeremy and I did an adult one. I think it was like $42 or so with tax.
Yeah, we each did one.
Yeah.
Just a note there, this is if you have a tree nut allergy. That was listed on the thing.
Oh, seriously?
But it's true. I mean, these are really cool. So the kukui nut, just a little like history about it, also known as the candle nut, was brought to Hawaii by Polynesian voyagers. Like I looked up some of the history.
That's
just
cool.
to kind of find out about a little bit. And it plays a vital role in their ecosystem. They're valued for their versatility, and every part of the kukui tree can be utilized, from the leaves all the way to the bark, and then of course the nuts, the tree nuts, and the roots. They're prized for their oil. It's extracted through a meticulous process and used for medicine, cooking, waterproofing, and even lighting lamps.
Wow.
And this is a Hawaiian tradition. This lays a token of love, respect, and admiration. And usually the giving of a kukui nut lei symbolizes a deep bond between individuals, whether it be between friends, family members, or lovers. It's a gesture of aloha, conveying sentiments of warmth and affection.
Aww.
And it's really cool because you're a cast member there. They've got all the different lengths of the ribbon ready to go and cut out for you. You get your pick your color ribbon, and then you get to pick several, up to 4 different colors or styles of the kukui nuts. And there's some that have like little turtles printed on them, some that have hibiscus flowers, and then all these different colors. So you pick your colors. You get this cool little tool where you will hook it around the ribbon and bring it through, because there's holes drilled in the center of all these nuts, and you'll bring it through there. You'll tie it off. You do the next one. You keep going until you have the whole thing. And you take it up to them. They'll tie it up, and then they'll burn off the ends with a lighter so that they don't fray. And you have this incredible.
It's beautiful.
It's one of my favorite crafts.
Yes.
That Disney does.
Yep.
And we got a couple of them now.
And you do not have to
be on the cruise.
Yeah, we do not. You do not have to be staying here to do it. So
no, you don't.
And they usually run Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So from 12:30 to 1:30, if you're at Magic and you're like, I'm gonna pop over to the Poly and want to do this, it was awesome. Chuck, Amy, me, and you all sat and made leis.
They're doing this right in the lobby.
Yep.
So I mean, the location's great.
Oh, yeah.
You're in the AC, which is wonderful. Yep. And there's plenty of places to sit. So this is a must do anytime that we stay at Poly, because we've stayed twice and we've done it twice. So then we decided to extend our Poly day to the pool. So Rhonda and I went and hung out by the main pool again, because we just needed to chill. Like we really needed to relax.
Yep.
We're at about 1:30 or so now, so we're a little bit hungry.
Yep.
You can either walk right up to that barefoot pool bar, or they will have a cast member that's coming around and taking orders and will wait on you, which is really amazing.
Yeah, it was.
To be honest. Like I love that they do that at some of the deluxe resorts like this. So you went with a margarita.
Actually, I did. It was a rose gold sunset margarita. So it is tequila, of course, an orange liqueur, mango, guava, and ginger for $16. It was very pretty. It was very good. I just sipped on it, and then we got some food, which they have fried wonton chips served with a spicy duck sauce for $4.99. And then we got black pepper Parmesan chicken wings with fresh garden herb dressing for $12.29.
Which is ranch in a packet. But it didn't need it.
They were really good.
The wings were really, really good.
They were. And so was the fried wontons.
They were. Yeah. How'd you like the sauce? Because
I liked it. You didn't have it because, okay. So anytime you have a duck sauce, and like when we were talking last episode on the egg rolls, and I got duck sauce and then the spicy mustard, you mix those two together, and that's what I think is a spicy duck sauce. So I was fearful that that's what it was going to be. And when I first took a bite, I think it was, and then I was like second guessing myself, but I was like, I think to be on the safe side, maybe you shouldn't have any. So
I just ate some wonton chips,
but yeah.
and then we had a bunch left over, and I just ate them for the next 24 hours. They were perfect wonton chips. I was shocked at how good these wings were. They just were perfect wings. That black pepper Parmesan. They were interesting flavor wise for the Poly, but I loved them. We ate them all. I think it came with 6 wings, and it was a perfect little poolside snack with your margarita. And I brought some of my own stuff down in a cooler, because you can take coolers, no glass.
Yep.
But you can take your own cooler with your own beverages down by these pools at Disney. Great tip to know: use Vacation Grocery Delivery to have all of your drinks delivered, and whether that's you're getting beers or wine or sodas, like whatever, you can save a lot of money by just bringing your own poolside.
You sure can.
Again, just please don't take glass.
Yes.
Because that is a major hazard. So we had signed up for a DVC tour.
We did.
And for 2 reasons. One,
to see the bungalows.
Well, yeah, but okay, 3 reasons. 1, to see the bungalows, because that's part of the DVC tour, right?
Yes.
2, we just like to get information anytime we can, right?
Sure.
3, they're giving you a $200 Disney gift card for the 30-minute tour. Now, what the limitations are, we're not 100% sure. When we were signing up that morning, you sign up for a time slot for 30 minutes, and it's an individual tour. You're not going to sit in a group. Don't think of this as your standard timeshares where you're going to go, hey, we'll give you a place to stay for free all weekend. Just sit in on a timeshare meeting. And then you're stuck in a bland room for 3 hours with 30 other miserable people while they try and just pound you into buying this stuff, and then you walk away buying it. That's what happens in these places, right? We know someone who makes his entire living on helping people get out of scammy timeshares or sell their timeshares or rent them because they got bamboozled, basically.
Wow.
Right? And so this is not that.
Yeah.
But she did ask, are you staying on property? We said, actually, we are staying on DVC points. And she also said, or do you have cast member friends? So I don't know what the limitations are. My guess is if you potentially live local and you just want to shoot over and do a tour and walk away with $200, there may be some limitations around that. She didn't say specifically you have to be staying on property or you have to have these things,
right?
But it seemed that there was some inkling of it, and we answered immediately. So it wasn't like, I kind of wish I had asked now. Hey, what do you have to do? I'm also guessing that when we go back here in a few weeks, we can't go do another tour because they're taking all your info down. They even looked at when the last time we did a tour 6 years ago. They're like, oh yeah, I see you right here.
Right.
So they know. But anyway, we went and sat down. They're going to take you over. They have an office set up in one of the DVC studio rooms, so you get an idea of what it looks like. Of course, we were staying in one. And they're going to break everything down for you. They're going to tell you how DVC works. They're going to explain points. They're going to explain use years. They're going to go over costs. They're going to walk through everything with you. And they're going to try and sell you a bit there.
Right.
If you simply say, I don't know that it's something we can make happen right now, it's pretty done. I was super impressed with this one. It wasn't high pressure. He even kind of said and this is part of their sales tactic, but still he's like, I could just sell you 500 points and, but that wouldn't be what's good for you.
Yeah.
And that is still a sales tactic, and I get it, but you kind of felt that, he wasn't going to sell us something we didn't need. And when we told him our situation of, we got 2 teenage girls that don't come to Disney anymore. If we were to buy DVC, we most likely would look at buying enough to have 1 or 2 special trips a year in addition to what we already do. And he basically let us leave by saying himself, you guys would really need to sit down and figure out how many points you would need and where, and if it works for you. So I was really impressed with that. I was even more impressed because we did get to tour the bungalows.
Oh, so
Why don't you talk
awesome.
about the bungalows?
Oh my goodness. Well, first of all, it's beautiful. They're out on the water. You have a magic band access to get behind the gate to go to the bungalows. And then you go in, and this is a 2-bedroom, 2-bath house. It does have a Murphy pull down and
a fifth
sleepers, because I think a couple of them. It sleeps a good amount of people, has a little hot tub on the balcony, has a pretty much wraparound almost balcony, because you can, the master bedroom has access to go out onto the balcony. And it's just amazing. Full huge kitchen. The only thing is, and I think if they're in every single one, because of course this one was being shown, there's a giant surfboard table that sits quite a bit of people because, of course, if you have a whole bunch of people, but then it kind of made the kitchen
small. It felt
like
smaller,
hard to move around. I feel like if you were really cooking a big meal like you usually do.
Yeah. This place is amazing.
Yeah,
it's awesome. It's completely soundproof.
I just heard to say, I think that's the coolest thing when he said,
which
why don't
is
you go talk
huge.
about that?
Well, it's huge because these are lined up right there by the ferry boats.
Yes.
That blow horns. I mean, they're loud, you know, and you got to think, all right, am I going to pay all this money or use all these DVC points? Because it is crazy expensive.
It
or
is.
a heck of a lot of DVC points.
Yes.
To, you know, be in this house and just hear boats all day. No, you're not. So he was telling us that they were they'd built one, or they were working on the first 3.
They built the one and did the entire one. And then there was 2 more. And I think it was like they were starting to move
into the other ones. Yeah.
Go, you know, like, you know how they do it around here. And this one was completely done. And
one of the executives,
yes.
I mean, it was a Disney executive, to be named, I don't know who it was, came to stay in it one night.
Said, I want to stay in it.
Yeah, wanted to stay in it. So he stayed in it, and at 7 a.m. he heard the horns blowing from the boats. And he was like, absolutely not.
Yep.
So what we were told is that he contacted whoever needed to be and said, these need to be soundproof.
And they gutted the whole thing. It was already done. He stayed in it.
Yeah.
And gutted the whole thing. Fixed it,
all the walls soundproof,
it.
all the windows, sliders, everything in here is soundproof. And you can, when you're in there, you could hear a pin drop.
Well, it was super cool because he was like, listen, what do you hear?
Yeah.
And we were like, nothing.
Yeah.
And that's where he went into the story. And I was just like, oh my gosh, that's so cool.
It was, I would love to be in there at night with the fireworks going off and see if it truly is like soundproof in that instance. You know what I mean?
What is it? Animal Detective? Where he's like,
Ace Ventura. Yeah, when he's doing the slider.
Yes.
That scream came from inside. So yeah, it would be. I guess it'd be a place you could try and get away with murder. All right. So during this time, Chuck and Amy, Trader Sam was on our checklist.
Yes.
Right. Grog Grotto, and it is going to open at 3 p.m. daily, and they're going to start taking names usually 60 to 90 minutes prior, so around 1:30. Right. So while we were at the pool, Chuck and Amy were up there. I think they were getting something to eat from Captain Cook's and all. And then they said, we'll go check out Trader Sam's. So they went and got in line. And basically the cast member said, you're going to be called back at 3. Like, again, it was not crazy busy. Right. So you're going to be called back at 3. And they're like, well, our friends that are coming with us are in a DVC thing. Is there any way we can delay it? And she's like, let me see if I can just, next couple people come up, I'll just put your name behind a few. Which was super cool and worked out great because we got called at 3:45. So went into Trader Sam's.
Yay.
And this is open from 3 p.m. to 12 a.m. daily. After 8 p.m. it does become for 21 years and older only. So 8 p.m. it is 21 and above only, and they do not take any sort of dining plans. Talk about Trader Sam's, I guess, just in general. It's been a long time since we've been in here.
But it's so cool. It's so like neat and dark, and which is funny because when they give you menus, you see all the older people like trying to get the
breaking
lights.
out flashlights and magnifying glasses.
Oh yeah,
and
super funny. But it's super cool because it's all tiki, and they have a whole bunch of neat stuff in there that goes off, and the tiki lady, and then depending on the drink you order, and if you don't swim, and it rains, and I mean, it is just a fun place to be. And apparently the bar stools go up and down, which I'm like,
yeah, Lucy told us
what?
about that.
So anyways, this place is super cool. They sat us at the bar where it's kind of like Oga's.
It's a communal table.
Yes, not a bar, but a communal table. So we were going to get some drinks, and Chuck and I got alcoholic drinks, and you and Amy went ahead and got some non-alcoholic drinks. I love these drinks because each and every one of them, the alcoholic ones, well, not each, but some of them have super cool vessels to drink out of. One is a pearl that you can keep too, but there's
the zombie head there's like the tiki head, there's the Nautilus. which is that big
looks
shareable
really
one. And you
cool.
can actually purchase that one.
Yes, you can.
That is one I would like to purchase one of these days.
I
What did you get?
know. I got the Tahitian torch, which is $16. It's Tito's handmade vodka, tropical juices, passion fruit, and fresh lime juice.
Yeah.
And it was great. Just had one. It was really nice. I think he got the spiked pineapple, which is basically like your Dole Whip.
Yeah, spiked Dole Whip.
Yeah.
Yep.
Super good.
Yeah, they have one zero proof specific cocktail on here, the Polynesian Punch for $12. That's that Liars that I was talking about earlier, the spiced cane spirit, orange, pineapple, passion fruit, guava, hibiscus, ginger beer, and soda water. Very refreshing. Again, it feels like a cocktail. It drinks like a cocktail. They're really trying to craft something special here. Under the Sam's No Booze Brews, Amy actually ended up getting both of these because we were sitting there for a little bit. The Skipper Sipper, these are $6 each, is tropical juices, organic agave nectar, mint, which they're out of. All Polynesian was out of mint, which was interesting.
Yeah.
Fresh lime juice topped with soda water. And then the Schweitzer Falls is tropical juices, and Sam's Gorilla Grog topped with Sprite.
I believe y'all liked the Schweitzer's Falls best,
better.
correct?
Yes, but as I was mentioning last episode, to me, both of these, I don't feel like took a lot of thought.
Yeah.
It's juices and just serve it to them. So I didn't love these as much, but for $6 and you're sitting there and you got a tropical drink in your hand, I still think it's great.
Yep.
Especially with this whole atmosphere as you were talking about earlier. They do have food that is served from 3 p.m. up until 10 p.m. daily. They've got some sushi rolls, lettuce cups. They've got pan-fried dumplings, a Thai chicken flatbread, which I would really like to try. I wanted the Kahlua pork tacos for $10.50. This is 3 little tacos with Kahlua slow-cooked shredded pork, a little bit of like slaw and kind of like tropical pico on top. They were outstanding.
Yeah, it was. I took a couple bites
Yeah.
because you kind of made me. I was almost full.
It was a
still,
perfect bar
but it
bites.
was good. It was
I
really
loved it.
good. Yeah.
I absolutely loved it. I would get those like again and again. So from there now, we've checked off Trader Sam's Grog Grotto.
Yes.
What is next on our list, because it is one of Rhonda's favorite places?
Yes.
Where do we head to next?
We went up to Tambu Lounge. Oh my gosh, I was so excited because this is where I really wanted to eat. And that's why I really didn't want to take bites of the tacos, because I wanted to eat my food.
What did you get to drink here? Did you get anything?
I got the Indigo Hibiscus for $16. It is actually gin, blue caraco liquor, Minute Maid lemonade, almond, lemon, and hibiscus grenadine. So I was like, I don't really want the gin, and sometimes I'll do it just to try it, but I was like, I'm gonna go ahead and ask. And I asked her if she could take and not do gin but do vodka, and she was like, absolutely. So I went ahead and got that, and that was really good.
Oh, good.
What did you get?
I got, so you can get a Lapu Lapu served in the pineapple. Non-alcoholic, which is not a Lapu Lapu. It's just served in a pineapple. So it's actually just a virgin pina colada.
Nice.
Is what it was. A frozen virgin pina colada inside of a hollowed out pineapple with umbrellas and a cherry sticking in it. And it was really, really good. I mean, it's a good pina colada. So I enjoyed that, and I still got to have my pineapple and everything. So I'm really glad that that's an option here. Then they have some food. So again, appetizers are served daily from 4 to 10 p.m. They are coming out of Ohana's kitchen.
Yes.
So they have peel and eat shrimp for $16. That is the Ohana seasoning on it.
Yep.
Like you would get over there. They've got California roll you can get. We went with the barbecued pork ribs for $16, the pot stickers for $13, the honey coriander chicken wings for $15, and then you can get the noodles here.
Yes.
They're not on the menu, but you can still get Ohana's noodles. So I think everybody knows how you feel about the pot stickers and the noodles.
Fantastic.
They're the best.
They're the best.
And there's so much of them.
Yeah.
We've counted a dozen pot stickers at least.
Yes, we have.
So for $13, $1 a pot sticker,
I'll do it.
Really good.
Yeah. All day long.
You can eat a meal out of this because this was going to end up being our dinner.
This was.
Yeah.
Yep.
The honey coriander chicken wings, we've had these before. They're outstanding. They're straight out of Ohana. They're sweet and a little bit spicy. They're sticky, perfectly cooked wings. Much of that same flavor in that seasoning is going on the barbecued pork ribs, which I really enjoyed. I thought the
really
ribs
good.
were great.
Mm-hmm.
Loved them. And then we decided to get dessert as well.
We did. And let me tell you first, before we talk about our dessert, that Amy asked the waitress and the amazing cast member if she heard a rumor that she could get the gluten-free friendly bread pudding.
Mm-hmm.
And the chef came out and she did.
Yeah.
And it was really neat. Amy, again, like I said, always lets me taste. And we got bread pudding as well, the regular one. And I almost like Amy's better.
Yeah, so the
The way
gluten
it
one
was
doesn't
made.
come with caramel sauce,
No.
but it's a gluten-free bread.
Mm-hmm.
It to me it was almost more of like a monkey bread or a traditional bread pudding. And we've had the bread pudding here before, of course.
It's
We
fantastic.
love it. But the one that comes out for us, the gluten heavy one, is very, very dense.
Yeah.
This one felt and tasted much lighter. The only thing, if you had taken, like, I'll be honest, I would go back and say, I would like the gluten-free bread pudding. I'm not gluten sensitive, so therefore I would still like the caramel with it because it doesn't come with it. It doesn't come with it when you're doing the gluten-free.
Yeah,
one.
and I don't know if they're allowed to, according to Amy, because it is an allergen.
Yes.
And the he comes out.
Can I sign a form? Can I sign
Well,
something?
I mean,
that
not for
says-
nothing. Amy got hers.
Yeah.
And then we got our, separately. But technically, they still had the sauce,
Yeah.
and Chuck poured all of it on ours.
Yes. I mean, you
But-
could have just poured that on the other one if you
Correct.
wanted, but yeah, either one is amazing. This bread pudding's so good.
Yes.
It's outstanding.
It was. And
just
this was
go to Tambu.
It was a great
Yeah.
way to have our how do you say it, not a fancy dinner, just a nice hanging out.
Yep.
We're full. Then we just went and hung out waiting really to watch Happily Ever After on the beach.
There's nothing like it.
Watch the electric water pageant. And then, pretty much almost be done. But we went ahead and did a hot tub at our quiet pool in the DVC area over there after we watched the awesome electrical water pageant. And then after we watched Happily Ever After, which was amazing. And the music was so loud on that beach. Amy and I were able to sing, and it wasn't annoying because the music was so loud.
They pump it in loud.
They do.
It's amazing.
And then it was super neat because where we were standing, unfortunately, we couldn't see the castle. But to be honest, the castle's really kind of tiny from where
you're
we're
not
at.
catching details of any sort of
right.
projection,
So-
so I don't think it's necessary.
But I was super excited where we were standing, and after Tinkerbell Fly, at the very end, we saw her, and I was like, there she is, and I was so excited. And then we went to the hot tub to actually kind of just relax our last night, and then talk
My
about
body needed it.
and then talk about our upcoming cruise.
Yeah. I mean, I'll be honest. Tell me a more perfect day at the Polynesian than waking up and having coffee, having breakfast, albeit mine wasn't great, but still having breakfast, popping into Magic Kingdom to ride one or two of your favorite rides, doing a craft activity like the Kukui Nut Lays, spending time by the pool, going to Trader Sam's Grotto, hitting Tambu Lounge, sitting on the beach watching Happily Ever After in the electrical water pageant, and then finishing your day in the hot tub at a quiet pool. I mean, what would you change? Nothing. It was a perfect...
A good breakfast,
It was maybe a good breakfast, but it was a perfect Poly day. We might write a book on it.
We didn't have Dole Whip, though.
No, we never actually got Dole Whip. That's the only thing I would add in is squeezing in a Dole Whip.
Technically, that pineapple Dole Whip cupcake.
We had the day before.
Oh.
All right, we're going to wrap this one up. We are going to finish with our very last day, which is going to include breakfast and a fun outdoor activity. So we got up and I went down, got us Kona Island coffees again because I really, really love them there. I really like them.
They were really good.
And then we loaded up the car and we had breakfast at 1900 park fare over at the Grand Floridian.
Yes, we did.
Now, parking at the monorail resorts is nothing short of an absolute nightmare.
Yes.
Normally. And they are very strict with the construction going on with the Poly DVC Tower, with the construction going on around all the roadways, around Grand Flow, Poly, all through that area. It is a nightmare. Yes. And, the days of hoping you could maybe pop into Poly or pop into Grand Flow are long gone.
Yes.
You must be staying there, or you must have a reservation. The mobile order trick is probably not going to do you any good.
Correct.
Where you used to say, you know what, I'm going to do a mobile order from whatever, from Captain Cook's, and I'm just going to show it to him and I'm going to go in. Might not happen.
Yeah.
And so we were debating whether we were going to monorail over or we are going to drive over. And I was like, well, it's early enough. We have a reservation. We told Chuck and Amy, said, we're just going to load up the car. We're going to drive over. Then we don't have to worry about monorailing all the way back around the loop and stuff to get our car. So we drove over and we had zero issue. Mm-hmm. We showed our reservation, gave names, IDs, all that stuff, went right in.
They gave us a little parking pass.
Gave us a parking pass that said 3-hour limit and directed us over near the wedding chapel and spa. And there was parking over there. Chuck and Amy, who arrived maybe 10 minutes later, they had a swapping of guards because they were asked to park across the street.
Yeah, that was sad.
So they ended up having a little bit of a walk. But that's a lot of times where cast members will park. But that is where they're often directing people unless you're actually staying on property. Mm-hmm. A lot of times, and I'm saying this so that you can allot time for your dining reservation.
Yeah.
Because they may put you across the street.
Yeah.
So just something to know. But let's talk about the newly reopened 1900 Park Fare at Grand Floridian.
Yeah. Of course, dining is located at Disney's Grand Floridian Resort and Spa. This is American/buffet. No discounts for the first year. It is 1 credit for a dining plan. Your times are 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. and then dinner is 4 p.m. to 9 p.m.
I will say we haven't been seeing the greatest of things coming out about dinner. Mm-hmm. We want to try it actually because the menu looks super good to me. I think it's something that we'd really enjoy. And after seeing the atmosphere and the characters, I want to go even more. But we did want to do breakfast. Now, breakfast is $54 per adult, plus tax and gratuity, and $34 per child. Talk about the atmosphere some. We had not done 1900 Park Fare prior, but my understanding is that the carousel horses were a major part of it, and they still were able to represent those horses throughout the atmosphere and up top with that big piece of carousel.
I might have missed that actually because I was staring at. Well, I unfortunately missed that because I was actually staring at all the giant
princess
pictures. Yeah. Those were stunning. I loved those.
This place is beautiful.
It really is.
It has it is like Narcoossee's extended a bit with kind of the color palettes. Mm-hmm. It's that very just soft like blues. There's some kind of like pinks and just it's comfortable, but it's modern. You know, when you think of like Grand Flow Cafe, feels a little bit like your grandma's house. Yeah. In a great way, a very homey way. This has sort of an elevated, elegant feel without feeling stuffy. Yes. Right? So you can start off with some specialty cocktails like a cold brew martini. They have a strawberry rosé spritz, a French 75, a passion fruit daiquiri, or a Chipotle Bloody Mary. Their zero proof cocktails include those same ones that we saw at Narcoossee. So the Agave Garden that I had and enjoyed. Then they also have a Pink London spritzer for $12. This is Lyre's Pink London non-alcoholic spirit, grapefruit soda, pomegranate green tea, lime, and mint.
They had the mint.
They did have the mint. This was really good. It was refreshing. I had zero need for anything other than water or pog juice that they're going to come with the meal. I literally just did it for research purposes, but I enjoyed it. I didn't want to spend $12. Oh. But I liked it.
And I really didn't want to spend any, so I just had plain water.
Just had water.
After my coffee, I was like, I'm good. The cold brew martini does sound really good. It is a chocolate rum. It is another liquor, but Joffrey's cold brew for $16, which sounds really good. And if I probably wouldn't have had coffee, possibly I'd have done it for research, but I was like, this is enough research. I'm done. I just want water. Yeah. In fact, I feel bad because I didn't even want the pog juice.
Right. I love pog juice.
I just wanted water.
Yeah.
But
and going back, there may or may not be some new specialty cocktails coming to Narcoossee's. And some of those can also be made zero proof.
Mm-hmm.
And there's one in particular that we are going back for Rhonda to try. And we cannot wait to tell you about it in the very near future, we hope, after our June trip. We'll just put that out there, a little teaser, but you're going to be excited about what's coming. So this is a buffet style. They're going to bring you your pog juice. Order any other beverages you want. Going to bring you coffee, of course.
And then they say
if
go.
You would like that. And then they say go, kind of. Our waitress was way overworked or something. A poor thing.
I even think the person who sat us, poor thing.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I mean, I know this just opened.
It did just open only a few weeks ago. I think they're still.
It was a little sad, but we still had a wonderful time.
We did.
She started to cool down. She was a little hot.
Yeah, she was running.
Not hot-headed, literally hot temperature.
She was running her butt off. But provided the gluten, even Amy said, I pretty much know what I can have and can't have. She's like, well, let me bring you a gluten-friendly menu anyway. Do you need to talk to a chef? Of course, they're always amazing with that. Let's talk about food. I think this has a lot of unique and inventive items that you're not seeing on other breakfast buffets, right?
Yes.
It's got a lot of stuff like a breakfast pizza that is served on a croissant dough instead of a pizza crust.
Yeah.
With like bacon and sausage.
Yeah, you had me take a bite. It was actually
super delicious.
Good. Yeah. I think a neat one too is like it was a beef and potato hash. They had eggs Benedict. That was a little sad because I think so. Liv has actually already eaten here, and she said something about the heat on some of the things. Like some things weren't cold and some things weren't heated right. I think that's what happened here.
That was the downfall, was the food temperatures. Yeah. I'll say.
Yeah. But like I had their cheesy potato casserole, which was fantastic.
Delicious.
Their bread pudding with vanilla cream anglaise is stupid good. Like I ate a couple of those. Their scrambled eggs.
They also had scrambled eggs with cheese. They had regular scrambled eggs, chicken sausage, pork sausage.
Oh yeah, I had
bacon,
sausage.
Mickey shaped waffles, of course. They had smoked salmon. They had a guy carving ham right there for you, and he offered me. I don't know if he offered Chuck, but Chuck had some of the crispy skin if you wanted, which was almost like it was almost like a fried ham skin, and he gave me like a portion of that. They've got danishes, they've got muffins there. This cinnamon pull apart bread. Which was good. Also good with the icing that came with the bread pudding.
But the bread pudding was better. I had both of them, and I like the bread pudding.
Did you put icing on the cinnamon pull-apart bread, though? Because to me, it made it better than the bread pudding. On its own, without the icing, it wasn't quite as good, but I thought it was better. I thought they had a lot of great stuff here.
They also had grits, of course.
Yeah, they had grits, of course. Little donut holes. I was really impressed with the selections.
What did you think of the air quote-unquote soup?
So, they did bring back their extremely famous Grand Floridian strawberry soup with fresh strawberries and whipped cream.
Yes.
It's delicious.
Tastes like a smoothie.
It tastes like a strawberry smoothie mixed with vanilla yogurt. Yeah, and it's very thick. But it's served like a soup. And
cold.
It's cold. And then it's got fresh strawberries. You put a couple of those there, a little whipped cream on top. I think it's absolutely outstanding. It's just really good. It's not soup. It's not even like a cold soup. Like it's just... It's
Amy did mention that it was thicker.
It's more of, this is what should be, I think what would be good with this is turn this into a parfait bar and have granola.
I love parfait.
And
Everybody
loves parfait. You ever meet somebody like, no, I don't want parfait? Parfait might be the most delicious thing on the planet. I think it would be cool if this was included. You had with it granola, assorted fresh berries, I think it would be better as that way where you could almost layer a parfait. Maybe, heck, you know how this would be really good?
Soup?
Yeah. But this would be good as it wasn't technically thick enough, but this would be good if it came with a little shortcake that you could drizzle this over top of a shortcake with fresh strawberries and whipped cream. I really did love it.
Yeah.
And I think it throws you off by saying it's strawberry soup. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, my face was like, I don't know if I want it. And you were like, we have to try it. And I'm like, oh good.
I don't know.
But it was good.
I don't think they're doing anything unhealthy to this, really. I mean, maybe shy of the whipped cream. I could get up and eat this every morning for breakfast. Like I really could. I loved it. I thought it was outstanding. And it's basically like your breakfast dessert. Like we ate it last pretty much.
Yeah, we did.
And it was a great way to end off a meal and have something nice and light and refreshing. And again, almost like a palate cleanser. Would you recommend breakfast at 1900 Park Fair? And talk food wise, and then do talk some about the character interaction, because we have Mirabelle, we have Tiana, we have Cinderella, and then we have Aladdin.
Yes.
So it is a very interesting collection of characters. How did you feel that the character interaction was?
It was great, and it was super cool because it was the wishes, like, so they were all wishes that and they were telling us to write a wish down, and
the whole wish ceremony, which is really, really cool.
It was. And I loved how they came up and they're like, what was your wish?
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, we got a lot of things coming on Friday, and I'm horribly sad to report, and I will go ahead and throw it out there because everybody knows Lacey. And one of the things was she was finding out if she made our high school dance team, and she did not. We're not sure why, but we are going to get her into a studio, and she's going to work on some things and hopefully be able to go into 10th grade high school dance team.
We should have focused on that wish, but we got selfish, and we had a lot of stuff going on that Friday. And
well,
we wished for all of it.
We did.
That was selfish on our part. We should have focused.
But the good news is Kaylin got her parking pass for her 11th grade year, so that was huge. We actually got
an upgrade
on the cruise. We got our stove that Jeremy's going to put in.
We've been without for almost 2 months.
Not our stove. Yeah, our stove top.
Been out for almost 2 months. Yeah.
So
some good stuff happened on
it did
May 3rd.
And I need to be
all of it.
very happier and like focus on that. And it's just really hard when me as a mom, I feel like somehow I failed Lacey. So I've had
we would have failed Lacey if we didn't let her go out for dance 2 years ago, because it changed her entire life.
Well,
so don't forget that.
I
that
know.
2 years ago, we had a very, very anxious kid who at times couldn't take to restaurants, who we had a lot of things going on, and dance completely changed her.
I know.
And is very sad, and we're disappointed that she didn't make it. Not in her, obviously.
Oh,
she
of course.
worked her butt off.
She did.
But we'll find out what she needs to work on, and she'll go out next year, and she's handled it very, very well. And the first thing she said to me, which by the way, I then had to pick her up at 2:30 in the morning because she went on her grad venture at Universal, which she had a blast. That rode Rip Ride Rocket for the first time, and then did it 3 times in a row.
Yeah.
She had a blast. But the one thing she said to me in the car was, well, you know what? At least now I can just go to the football games with Cassidy. So she's having I think a better response to it than you and I are, because we are heartbroken by it. But anyway, they have a whole wish ceremony, and you hold up your cards, and you make your wishes.
So they'd come by and they'd ask, and like it was great interaction. Me and Amy did, with everybody, and then Tiana comes around, and Tiana is in her adventure, because I said, Tiana, I almost didn't recognize you. What are you wearing? And she said, darling, this is my adventure outfit. And I was like, oh, okay. And she's wearing a ring because she's married to Naveen now. So it's super, super cool. And she just, rattled off things, and they all did. And it was just great. We had a great time. The food was really good. I wouldn't say it was bad. I would totally come back here.
I would too. I'd like to go back for dinner.
Yeah.
The character interactions were outstanding. Cinderella's was a little bit, I think,
quiet.
We caught her last,
yes.
and I think they were trying to finish her up, so she didn't have as much time. But the other 3, holy moly, Mirabelle.
Oh, Mirabelle was my favorite. Yes.
That fast talking, kind of frantic, like absent-minded sense that Mirabelle has, while she also has everything put together. that's who was in front of us. And it was amazing. Same with Tiana. Like, we've never met a Tiana that I didn't walk away from just like, wow, absolutely incredible.
And it was because I asked her. I was like, I'm going to ask her because I know that Jeremy knew about her outfit and what they're
Tiana's
trying.
Bayou Adventure outfit. That's the one we're going to see in Tiana's Bayou Adventure.
But I was just curious of how they were going to present it. So I was like, that's why I said I almost didn't recognize you. What is this?
She did offer us like 200 to 300 beignets, which...
So the downfall on that, if they're going to talk about it there like that, and because Disney can do them, I feel like personally they should have beignets.
I think there should be a dish for each of the 4 characters, and I haven't fleshed them all out, but beignets, obviously for Tiana, should be on the buffet. A breakfast empanada could be on for Mirabelle because her mom has the curing, healing empanadas that she makes. And then, I don't know, you could figure out something for Aladdin and all and Cinderella, but...
Cinderella could be like a cheese, I feel like, because of Gus
that could be.
Rat,
that could be some sort of, cheese thing, or even like, I don't know, I'm trying to think breakfast-wise, something pumpkin-related could actually work for her as well. I think that would be neat. But I think having beignets, to be honest, I think... Okay, here's the thing. If you put beignets on every... Now, here it makes sense, but let's just say you put beignets here, and then beignets show up somewhere else and somewhere else because Tiana, and they put beignets legitimately in Magic Kingdom. Are you ruining any of that special feeling you get by making a trip to Port Orleans?
Probably.
That's the only thing I'm wondering.
That's probably why they're not.
Now, I do think they should put them on the menu here, and I don't think it's going to take away from anything, and I do think that they should open a beignet food stand or cart or shop outside of Tiana's Bayou Adventure when it opens. Amazing. And we may still be getting something. We're not sure.
Yeah.
So we finished up our breakfast. Normally it would be time to head home, but I said, no, Rhonda, we are not. What are we going to do?
The kids were still in school, so there was no reason to rush home. So as a pass holder, you can get before 4 p.m. free miniature golf.
Yeah.
So we have not done Fantasia Gardens. So we went over there, which is the Swan Reserve at Epcot, the Epcot Resort area. And it's in the parking lot basically of the Swan Reserve. And you can get your validation at Fantasia Gardens.
Free parking. It'll be included. Just get your parking pass validated.
Normally it's $19 per adult and $12 per child, which of course is 3 to 9. This opens from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. So one side is like characters and it's fun.
More of your traditional putt-putt mini golf, right? With obstacles.
Right. Your other one is literally a miniature 18-hole like golf course. That I was like, holy crap. And takes an hour and a half to play, apparently.
I want to do that one.
I do too.
It's super cool. It's like greens. It's all greens. Yeah. So in a little bit of hills, there's some sand traps. Yeah. It's like, it was super cool looking.
It was. But what did we pick?
Well, this included, so if you're annual pass holder with the water park add-on, if you have a package, you'll get basically a coupon for this, or if you do the sort of water park add-on type thing, that's where it'll be included before 4. We did the side with the obstacles, and this was so fun.
It was fun.
It was a perfect way to wind down these 6 hectic days that we had. You know, even though the Poly was relaxing, it was our vacation. We were still go. Yeah. You know, it was still filled with things, and we got to just we laughed a ton.
Yeah, we did.
Rhonda put one in the water, which was hilarious. These all show up on social. My favorite, we got to one hole. It was a fairly straight ahead, and I pulled out my phone and I said, I'm going to video you getting a hole in one. And you're like, why would you say that? I'm not going to. And then boom, hole in one. Then you said, I'll video you getting a hole in one. I did not.
No.
But it was so much fun.
It was.
It's challenging.
It was.
But fun. I loved it. We even said anytime that we're leaving Disney now, if there's not a reason to head home immediately, let's go play.
Yeah.
You've got Fantasia Gardens with these 2 courses. You've got Winter Summerland with the 2 courses.
Which we've done before.
But it's been a very long time. Yeah. When we go down here in a few weeks, that Sunday morning, we're planning on doing Skyline Chili for lunch before we head home. Mm-hmm. But I would like to go play putt-putt again. We'll have some array of children with us. We don't know yet. We're figuring all that out. But I would like to go play around. Yeah. We'd have to pay for them, of course, which is fine. And then go to Skyline and come home. I think this is an underrated thing to do at Disney.
Yes, it was super fun.
And when you have your day off, or maybe you're taking a break in the middle of the day, or if you're going to pay the money after 4, this would be such an awesome evening activity.
Mm-hmm.
And in reality, if you're staying at Boardwalk, Yacht and Beach, Swan, Dolphin, obviously Swan Reserve, it's a quick walk.
Oh, absolutely.
If you're staying at the Boardwalk and you're not going to a park during the evening, I'd walk across the street here and play putt-putt.
100%.
I mean, it was so much fun.
It was. And then after that, we went ahead and veered off and stopped at the character warehouse.
Oh my goodness, I forgot about that.
Which was super cool because I've been kind of eyeing the Dooney and Burke 100th because Stitch was on it. And I am here to proudly say that it was there. And it was $348 originally, and I got it for $150.
Yeah.
Super excited. We got a few other things. Jeremy got a couple of cruise line shirts.
2 cruise line t-shirts, which was we both finally got our Stitch Spirit jersey where he's got the ukulele and all on it. We've been wanting for a long time.
$30.
Yeah,
like
$30.
It is so worth it.
They had a good amount of stuff. And
they did.
It was slam. While we were checking out, we'll finish on this, guys, and then the next 2 episodes are going to be much shorter. As we were checking out, we struck up a conversation with the couple in front of us. Turns out he is one of the chefs at Tiffin's.
Yeah.
And he normally does dinner. And we said we just went there for lunch. I was like, you guys are killing it. Like, it was absolutely amazing.
And
so that was
a couple
cool
things we named. He was like, I did that.
Yep.
And I was like, that's awesome.
It was really neat.
We forgot to get their names.
I know,
but
I wish we had,
we'll have to go back and see
if we could dinner,
just, and not even like maybe just go and see is like, hey, they're a chef here.
Yeah.
We need to get his name.
Is there a chef that likes to shop at the character?
Yeah.
It was his first time.
It was his first time.
His wife does not work for Disney, but said, he works for Disney, but because I run into her in the whole line. Yeah, she worked at Rec Room at the outlets there. And she was like, I just thought he needed to come experience this and see it. Because they're used to going to Cast Connections, obviously. So, well, that's it. That was our trip.
Yeah.
I hope you enjoyed the 4 hours of us talking about it. No, going with these, I mean, I didn't want to drag these. Neither one of us wanted to drag this review out over a month or so. And we've got other stuff coming up. So these were definitely longer, but we enjoy sharing these with you, but we always want to make sure that there's information and nuggets and tips and tricks that you can pull out of these. Mm-hmm. So we hope that there are. As always, our inboxes, our mailboxes, everything's always open. If there's anything you want to hear more out of these types of things, please let us know. Or less, for sure. But yeah, we want to make sure that this is always providing, information. You're not just hearing us tell you about our trip. Like, we want this to be informative and help you on your upcoming trip.
Yes.
If you really want a lot of help on your upcoming trip, go to mainstmagictravel.com, fill out a form for a free quote. Travel services are completely free to you. You can experience everything we've talked about and so much more. There are a lot of great rates out there to go to Disney right now, and there are deals. So hit up mainstmagictravel.com, hit that subscribe button, get brand new episodes every Tuesday and Friday. The cruise is coming up, so we are going to pre-record the next 2 episodes, but within about 2 weeks or so, you will get a cruise review on the Disney Magic. That most likely will be broken up into 2 or 12 episodes as well. I cannot tell you how long they will be, but we're very excited about that and to continue to bring some more cruising and stuff to you. So definitely hit that subscribe button. And of course, Ron and I would be super thankful if you would leave us a rating and review, assuming it does not say the show is too long, because it will really help our show grow.
It'll help our show grow.
Oh, that's your part. We have 2 more to go through and pack. So I would, if I were you, I would get ready for the next 2. I don't know what they're going to bring.
It'll help our show grow. Bye, guys.
That's all we've got. We'll see you real soon.
Jeremy and Rhonda are more than a little fond of Disney World, so they made this podcast to share it all with you. Reports and resorts, top 10 lists of all sorts. Main Street Magic's bringing it home for you.